today's video, I will be showing you how to draw cool stylized graffiti characters like this little guy here. Let's go. What you do is start with a base shape. So instead of a circle here, throw any shape you want down. You don't have to be too particular, you could even change it up. This is up to you, and I will act as more of a guiding voice to help you achieve a certain look. So first I'm going to draw a center line. Just by doing this, you can sort of now get a feel of how the shape is going to be. Sometimes I like to box it off a little bit so I know where the perspective is coming from down here to this way here. Then I draw another line across the face. This breaks the face into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. If this helps with you, what I used to do, I used to do 2 dots and use that as the middle of each eye. Now you want to end up drawing a rough socket shape for the eye. So let's just say like this. Keep your pencil loose throughout, with a round circle inside, which is the eyeball. The whole way I'm doing this is I'm just putting lines around this shape as well. The reason being is sometimes your conscious mind wants too much control, and by doing so you can put too much pressure on yourself, so it's hard to create things naturally. But if you can get in the habit of just letting lines flow from more of a subconscious place as you build, you can end up, when it comes to the darkening out of areas, picking what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of. To give you an example, let me just draw the other eye in. So for this, I'm going to replicate the same kind of shape, but it's going to be more squished because it's further away from the viewer. Let's do that again. So it is a circle, and then it's got these rounded off shapes around, like so. And here, add a few, okay? So this is what I mean. Let the pencil do the work. I'm not too conscious of what's going on. I'm kind of just letting the pencil throw in lines. I'll concentrate on the eyes so you get a clear example of what I mean. So here, let's do another eye as well. So now we've got that in place, you might say to yourself, we're keeping this to begin with. Definitely keeping that. I think that looks cool, you've never seen that shape before, it looks unique. And then I'm going to move on. Next I want to do that eyelid here. And I like how this took over a bit. So for now, we're going to keep this and darken it out. Just like so. And then you might say to yourself, okay, I'm happy with that. Now let's do this eye. And I like that, see how it's got like 2 lines around? I'm taking both lines. So here I'll do 1, and I'll do 2. And then you start to see the lines you placed that weren't consciously placed, but you can now use to make your design more unique and have more of an element of flow from like your subconscious instead of stuck in what you think would look right. Just go with the flow of things and let things kind of happen with a natural event. And as you're building up, you can say to yourself, okay, I want to make that eye way smaller. I'm going to add another line here as I'm going forward. And use some of these surrounding lines that were in place by accident. So here, put that in. I'm going to take that as well. Just like so. And the exact same for this eye here. Usually if I was to do this, I would obviously sketch the whole face out first, then make adjustments, but for the sake of this tutorial, I really just want to show you how I would do each part, and then hopefully you get a great understanding of how each thing is pieced together. Now you get a quick explanation of what I'm doing by keeping loose lines and then picking up the lines after the fact, keeping it loose. Let me show you how that works again around the eyes. So now we know there's eyebrows. Let the pencil do it a few shots, okay, like this. Really loose, really jagged. Same here, I'm going to do a few lines. When you have a few lines placed down to a point, you get to select what you thought looked better. And also, as you get to find out from that mistake what worked well the first time, you can then copy that into a next drawing as a lesson. Instead of trying, because what a lot of people do is when they think they're going to do a drawing, is they have it in their mind perfect and they want to replicate it. That's a big problem artists have, is, or they say is, I see it in my mind perfectly, but I can't get it down to paper. And that is a lot of pressure. That's like me saying, you have to walk this tightrope perfectly, or you failed. It's never going to equate to being exactly the same in your mind. So let go of all that pressure and then just let it become more of a play. You're playing. So that eyebrow, you didn't fancy it? Draw a different shape once that one's in place. like so. You end up with something more like this. Just play with your design. So once you have a rough outline of the eyes, let's say we'll next place the nose. For the nose here, I'm going to throw a random shape in this area. So I know it's going to be in this area because I want the nose quite close to the eyes. You could do it lower, that's entirely up to you. From this circle, I put a little placement line and then let the pencil do the work. So here, like that. It's just this shape here, boom, 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 boom. Or might turn like that. Completely depends. If I don't like that, I can redo that. But for this, I'm going to use the line work. So for this, I want to connect this side, keep that. I like the way it comes into the face, so I'm keeping that. I like that little tucked in shape, didn't expect that to happen. And I'm keeping this here, the nose is quite unique. And then put a nostril here, which is a tiny tick, like so. Quite a snoody nose. If you want to change it, you can do so at any point. And to make it look more three-dimensional, you want to get used to this kind of shape here. Kind of like a bat kind of shape, up, across, gonna get above the nostril, that connects this nostril here. Separate the nose into 3 parts. 2 nostrils and the main bit of the nose here. By doing so, you end up with this. Sometimes I put a highlight on the nose. And to take it back to what I said about keeping loose lines, let's say above the nose to the, what would it be, this section here. I'm just gonna put lines like this, but following up. Once that's done, you can decide to keep what you want. I like that line here. Gonna keep this like so. Add it like this. And yours may be a bit different, by the way, and if you want to keep lines that I'm maybe not keeping or vice versa, you do what you feel is right and then learn from there. And then I'll just put the eyebrow on quickly to show you guys roughly. And okay, we can now move on to something next is the lips. Just shade it a little bit. Like so. For the lips, I'm going to do the same, keeping the lines loose. But for this, I'm going to draw a downwards line and first start with the top lip. Once it's done, I'm going to bring it across like so, so it meets back in that center line. And then draw the bottom lip, just like so. Once it's there in place, I'm going to put a bit of shade on top and then add the teeth by just bringing down, keep it simple for now, and bring it across, just like so. And the same with the bottom. From here you can decide to add certain features like a mustache or some hair, that's entirely up to you. Now I've got all the placements in shape. If you are struggling to find out where you're going to build the face from, you can pick cheekbone lines, which are just 2 lines coming from the face like this. But for now I'm going to bring it down. You come out a tiny bit like so. I'm looking to connect it to this side. Like this. Boom. Maybe add that tiny cheekbone in there to add some shading. Maybe give him like a toothpick coming out the mouth. And then same for the other side. I'm rounding it off and I'm looking to end it there. I want the ears to sit ear 1 and ear 2 here. And for that, we're just going to draw 2 squares. Really loose with the lines. Sometimes I like to keep it so I can pick parts out, which I like. 1 there. One there. So now that's in place. I'm going to bring a line coming across, just like so. Don't be afraid to make some small adjustments just to make it look more suitable for how you want it. And as you can slowly see, we start to build a character up from this point forward. If you want to add some tattoos to the face, you can. Let's just say let's add a plaster here. Let's actually make him look beaten up. You see how the first character comes together, then I add all the elements on top of that. like an effects panel. Obviously, if you're doing this at home, feel free to spend as much time as you want on this. I'm sort of going quite quickly, just as I want to show you guys all the different aspects you can use to create characters at home. From here, you can decide if you want to put elements into your design. So here I will follow that shape of the square, so it's boxed in, just to give it a head shape. And that would come behind the ear, like this. Maybe adjust that a tiny bit so it comes in more. And now from here, you can then place anything you want on the head area. So for here, let's just do a line across. Let's give him like a do-rag sort of look. Like so. Maybe get like the back of the do-rag here. Follow the head shape. And then we can give him just something that flows off the back here from the do-rag. And like this. Once it's done, you want to have a look, see if you want to add things to it. So as we're building the character, the goal is kind of to tell a story. So for this guy here, maybe give him some braids, something that flows, because the flowy elements can really add to a design. So we're going to add some things that flow from the hair, so like braids. Just some rough lines, nothing committed to it too. Same with the back here, maybe some coming through. And that would be, if I just put this in, that would be the basics of the head. And the head and the hands are going to be the crowning features of the character. Just like this. Add a few lines when it comes to the folds. Do the same as we did face. Let some lines go in a direction. And later on, when it comes to permanently lining it, we can do so and pick what parts you want to keep and what parts you don't want to keep. Like so. The next feature to tell the story is obviously the hands. So for the hands here with this character, I won't draw the body first, I will move on to the hands. So let's just say for this, we're going to have a hand coming this way. That will be a rectangle to start off with. There is a full tutorial on hands on my main channel, so I won't go into too much detail, but it starts off with a rectangle, two sausage shapes, separated by a washer, and then we just keep building the hand up. Like this. Here then we can say, okay, let's have him holding something. For now we'll just have him holding the bottle. And the story is being built as I'm going, as you notice. Sometimes I will have a rough idea of the story as I go, but for this, I was going to show you how it's being spontaneous. Sometimes you think I haven't got an idea, so I can't draw today. Sometimes just being spontaneous creates much better designs, as you are relieving a lot of pressure from trying to create something that you see in your mind, like I said before. Okay, keep it like that. From here, let's just have, he's got a bottle in this hand. You can just draw the hand maybe being more like towards the audience, just to mix it up a little bit. So it's a square again. Like I said, full tutorial that you can check out if you are struggling with hands. And then we just throw it down like this. Maybe have him holding some like pencil. Like this. And once the hands and face are in place for a graffiti character, it already has a lot of expression. So now it's just a matter of drawing a body line. So let's say here we want the line to come in and crack like it's a letter. That's the spine line. And all we want to do is follow the neck around so we get to a neck point. Like this, so the shoulders would be around. And then we can start adding the clothes on top of that spine line. So that's the upper body, and then it's just connecting from the arms to the body, and you look for the best way to do that. So here the arms are going to come down and connect, and here just have it coming down this way, so it's going to be in perspective now, and then connecting to the body like so. Here you might want to give some strings from the hoodie, keeping the lines loose, and then have it so the hoodie is coming up. Fit the pockets in. You can easily go on Pinterest if you're stuck for clothes and see what fashion things are there, just to help you if you're struggling for something that looks unique. And maybe you want to draw something like roped around his arm. It's entirely up to you at this point. You can just keep going till you end up with a design that you're finally happy with. Now for the legs, you can do them coming out for now. Imagine that's the wall there. You can put a letter here, start an S, O, whatever your name is, graffiti-wise, and go from there. Like I said at the beginning, where we are picking up all the lines we want to keep, now is the best time to go over your whole design and add things if you feel like, okay, this hand needs a bit extra, it needs some definition, keep the lines loose. You want to add a few things around him, you do that as well. Like here, let's add some markings to his face. Make it look more tribal. And then you keep going until you're there. And then you want to grab your pencil, and then we're going to darken up all the lines we want to keep. And anything we don't want to keep, we're just going to get rid of. So I'm actually going to time lapse this now, speed up for a little bit. If you made it this far, congratulations. Even just turning up here, putting the time in to get better, you're doing good. So just keep going and keep going with what feels right for you. Once you've gone over the whole design, just darkening things up, you will have something that looks like this. And anything you want to change in the process and you felt would have suited you better, remember just to go for that and end up with a design that you are finally happy with. I really hope today you enjoyed this quick tutorial. If there's anything else you would like to see, please let me know in the comment section and I will try my very best to make it happen. Until next time, I hope you've all been well, you keep creating, and